morning and we're heading out to find some breakfast and some coffee, definitely, before we go to the Low Carb Down Under event today, which we're really excited about. So hopefully we can find some yummy eggs.
Who are you excited to see?
I don't know. I want to meet Richard from Two Keto Dudes. What about you?
Yeah, probably.
Is Peter Bruckner going to be there?
Yeah,
I think he'd be interesting. So I think everyone will be interesting, and hopefully there'll be some new people that we find out about in Australia. So it should be good.
All right.
So it's Sunday morning here on our trip to Sydney, and we went to the Low Carb Down Under event yesterday, which was awesome. So we just thought we'd have a bit of a chat about it. One of the really cool things was that the catering was all low carb. I know, sound stuff. But they had cream to put in your coffee at the coffee breaks. Like the morning tea was all like cheese and crudités and stuff.
And dips.
Guacamole, yeah. And then the lunch was like an awesome kind of salad bowl with protein. Like it had eggs or chicken, beef, and then cheese and nuts, and they even told us the macros of the bowl before the lunch break, which I thought was hilarious.
There was a salmon version as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Beef, salmon, chicken, eggs.
All with like extra virgin olive oil and apple cider vinegar dressing. So it was like really well done. I was pretty impressed about that.
It sounded like it was a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
The organisers to get the caterers to do it like that, but hey, you gotta give them credit, because they were actually, they pulled it off, and the food for lunch was really good.
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah. But obviously all the speakers and all the information that we listened to was just, it's so inspiring and motivational, I think, to know that you're doing the right thing for your health. And, you know, I think it kind of motivates you to perhaps implement some changes in the way that you're doing things, and just learning all the science behind everything.
I find it hard to kind of not come away feeling a little angry. If I was type 2 diabetic, I would feel really angry.
Yeah, for sure.
Just with how badly we've been misled over such a long period of time, and how the guidelines they refuse to change them, despite the fact that over 40 years as the world we haven't changed, we haven't gone down in our statistics in terms of obesity. It's gone up, and it's not working. And
simple dietary changes that are accessible to everybody can improve people's health without the need for all these medications. And it's just, it's really sad that, you know, I mean, the good thing is the people who are putting on these events and educating people are getting it out there. And it was really a lot of people mentioned during their talks that it needs to come from a grassroots level. It's not going to come from the top down, so we just got to keep getting the word out there that the low carb is the best way to go.
And how governments are not going to change unless we force that change. And the only way to do that is to keep talking to people about it, talk to your friends and family. I mean, it's kind of hard to not be a bit preachy about the whole thing.
Don't do that.
But just doing it,
lead by example,
helps people ask you questions. People will say, how did you do it? How did it happen? And you don't have to go into a long spiel, but you can just say, I cut the carbs. That's what one of the presenters said. Just say that you cut the carbs, and that will prompt a flow-on effect in people's heads, I guess.
Lead by example, I think, was like a big takeaway, and just it's got to come from a grassroots level. It's not going to come from the top down. Who was your favourite, or did you have a favourite speaker?
I did like Gary Fettke. Probably my opinion has changed on him a little bit. On social media, I probably have found him a little dogmatic, but I think that's because what he's been through. I mean, if he's been through everything that he has been through, I can see how he has come to that. But he's really funny. He's really engaging.
They're actually all pretty funny.
Yeah.
Those doctors.
And he kept it simple and easy to understand. If I was there yesterday not having really known much about it, I wouldn't come away feeling overwhelmed. I'd feel like, I could do this. Like I would feel positive
some
about
of them went a little bit more in depth in the science, and I think that's because there was like doctors in the audience as well. But it was all in layman's terms. It was certainly all easily understood by like an average person, I think. If I had not known anything about low carb, but I don't know that you would be there if you didn't.
Yeah, true.
I think it would have been a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it was really, certainly everyone spoke in like just normal language and explained all the terminology and all the, if they spoke about certain pathways in your body and whatnot, they explained it all with diagrams and everything. It was really interesting.
I think they explained it as if they were talking to a patient,
Yeah.
which was a really good way of doing it, because there was a mix of doctors and regular people in the audience, so they needed to make it...
Doctors are regular people too, Dan.
hilarious. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The other presenter I really liked was Dr. Paul Mason.
Yes. I'd never heard of him before.
We hadn't heard of him.
He was amazing, like especially in the Q&A part. Like answering the questions, every one of his answers, he referred to all these random studies, with such specific detail of his research. He is a super intelligent guy, and both of his talks were just amazing, and I'd definitely see him again if he was
really quick with his answers too.
Yeah.
Like he was just able to pull some random study out of his brain and say, this study has shown us this, and it was very clear. And
he is a doctor who is using low carb, high fat in his practice, so it's awesome to see that happening. And he had quite a few success stories that he shared about his patients and how they'd improved their health and lost weight, and it was really interesting.
I also liked the patient perspective. The two people that were patients of the low carb doctors, I found those really
shared their
good.
Stories about how it impacted them and implementing the dietary changes, and kind of, I guess, the what's the word, kind of, you feel like you're going against the right thing to do, I guess, by eating all the fat, and it's such a dogma in society that I think that it was interesting listening to. They had two patients there listening to both of their experiences.
The other thing I found interesting was the two orthopedic surgeons talking about how them recommending low carb pretty much is cutting their business. They don't do the surgeries,
dissuading people from having surgery.
And that affects their bottom dollar, and that's potentially why a lot of these doctors are not recommending it, because then they're not doing the surgeries that they would be doing on these people, and that's just a travesty to the public.
And even Dr. Fettke said at one point he's not into prescribing, he's into describing people from their medications, and I was like, how awesome is that? Like that's the mentality that all doctors should have. Like, we want to be trying to get people off medications if we can. Obviously it's not applicable to everyone, but if that's your aim, like that's only going to work out better for the patients in the long run.
I agree. But it was a great day.
She a doctor? No, Marianne.
Yeah, she was a doctor.
She's like a PhD.
She was a rheumatologist.
Yeah. Amazing lady, and she presented really well. All about statins. And
she did the Catalyst program on statins.
And she spoke about her research into statins, and she spoke a bit about her research into cholesterol and metformin in the Q&As, and she is just a wealth of knowledge, and she just speaks so well.
But just what happened around that whole statins program, it just is, I don't even know what to say about it, but she pretty much, Catalyst got pulled from TV because of the power of the statin manufacturers and the doctors, and
health professionals pretty much came out and said people will die as a result of her showing this research. And
she was being accused of mass murder because people were going to go off their statins.
All she was wanting to do was get people, to provide education and get people to talk to their doctors about it. Like, what are the actual benefits of me having this statin versus what are the risks or what are the side effects? So, is there value in me taking, like, is the potential benefit of taking the statin worth living with the side effects? And potentially it's not. So talking to your doctor about it, that was all she was encouraging people to do.
So should we wrap it up?
I think we've gone on long enough.
We have.
But we certainly, it's motivated us to look into going to the low carb event.
On the Gold Coast.
Low Carb Down Under. Yeah, on the Gold Coast. It's a full weekend event, and they have Dr. Steve Finney coming out from the US, and they'll have loads of other speakers, I'm sure. So we definitely want to go to that now, because it was just so great. Being at the presentation.
Yeah, it was really good. I was probably concerned that it was going to be a bit too sciencey and over the top for me, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm glad. And we'll probably let you know when we go to the Gold Coast.